Hello there, good people, what is up? Welcome, my name is Marco, and I am a self-taught full-stack web developer. Being full-stack developers means being able to manage both the front-end side of an application and the back-end side. And here the question might arise, which one is better for a career? What are the differences? In this video, I want to give my personal opinion about some very good things and others that are not so good about both worlds. And also, as in all families, I'll say which one is my favorite. There's always a favorite child. I'd say let's start with the front end. Front end is everything you see on a web page. The styling, the font size, the color, some cool animation, the position of the logo, the images, everything that is accessible by the user. First of all, the good old argument that front end is cool and better because it's easier, it's not really valid anymore. Now, in the old school approach, you would use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create a web page. To be completely honest, those are fairly simple. However, with this new wave of front-end libraries like React, Vue.js, or Angular, and many others, I can tell you that front-end development is not easy at all. I am currently learning React.js. Let me tell you, the thing is hard. Very hard. So let's shoot some pros and cons. First of all, front-end is super satisfying. Everything you do, you can see it on a page, on the screen. You must understand, I come from Python, and Python is basically run via the terminal. It's essentially a scripting language. So you have this dry input-output kind of interaction, but you don't get to see basically anything tangible. When I started with HTML and CSS, I remember the sheer awe I felt when I just added some animation on a cool button. It had a cool shape, and when you went over it, it was changing color and size. I mean, it was amazing. It was fantastic, almost addicting. I got to make so many small little things just for the sake of seeing it in action. Another big one is that front end is almost bug-free. Now, I know what you're thinking. Marco, nothing is bug-free. I know, but HTML and CSS are not really programming languages, so they are kind of immune to that. Now, I know there have been some cases of CSS bugs, but that is due to the language, to the flaws of the language, and you can really do anything about it. You either stick with it or you change the way you do it. But in front end, bugs are not very common because essentially there are not so many things that are heavily connected with each other, so that one bug here crash your entire website. It's not all shining though. There are a couple of downsides as well. The first is its scalability. There is just so much that you can do, that you can create with just front end. If you want to expand something, make a wonderful and powerful application, good luck doing that with just HTML and JavaScript. Sure, nowadays there are these serverless type of architectures and no database like Firebase, etc. But considering that that technology is still pretty new, I don't see many developers just jumping on the wagon very soon, for many different reasons. Secondly, front-end is boring. I know that's quite a shocker, huh? It is very repetitive. Sure, in CSS you can create these reusable classes, but more often than not, you'll find yourself typing over and over again, just display flex this, display flex that, text align center, align items, justify content, blah 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 blah. And don't even get me started on the JavaScript side of things. Query selector this, query selector that, add event listener, make it stop. Now it's time for some backendising. Now, backend is basically the logic that stays behind the scenes. The user cannot access to it. You store data about a user, you run an algorithm, and then you recommend some videos. What happened on YouTube, for example. To be completely honest, I love backend development. It's definitely my favorite. Even though as a full stack developer, you should acquire a similar level of expertise in both of them. First of all, one of the best things about backend development is also one of its worst, and that is the fact that it is extremely scalable. You have a new cool idea about the next best app, you want to create the next YouTube or Facebook or Coinbase or the next super unicorn. You'll have the time of your life coding all the logic, get that problem solving skill in action, come up with ideas, things to do, optimize. However, as I said, it is also quite bad because the logic is cool, but sometimes it can get really complex. There might be hundreds of bugs, you have no idea where they come from. I mean, there are so many things that are connected together that just one wrong status code here can make half of your source code basically useless. And also, the bigger the app, the bigger the problems. What started as an app for 100 users worked fine, now has to serve 10,000 requests per minute, and you need to be able to scale it, just like this. And this brings another downside. Backend is expensive. There are a few free solutions out there, but in most cases, especially if you want to expand your website, make it available to more people, you'll need a database, either on the cloud or on a server. But any way you look at it, at the end of the month, you're in for a big surprise. You might use services like DigitalOcean or Linode for purchasing a digital machine, a server, or you can go the cloud route using AWS or Google Cloud. Now, let me tell you, those are not cheap at all. They are easier though. If you count also some of the external services that your website might need, like I don't know, Lambda by AWS or external APIs, I mean, the bills will start to pile up. Then why do you love it so much? Because it is challenging and very rarely boring. There is always a new feature to add, and going through the process of finding a new solution and implement it, it's super exciting to me. This being said, I'd be really curious about what you think about this. What is your favorite, if you have one? Let me know in the comment below. And also, if you like to learn more about full stack web development, make sure to check out my latest playlist, where I develop several projects as a roadmap towards full stack development and also might improve and enhance your portfolio. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and share. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one. As always, stay tuned for more, and bye bye.